What is up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a great weekend. So listen, we do this whole taste test normally where we try different drinks, and we were sitting here talking. He was like, man, any suggestions for what we should taste? So I got on my phone, a little searched up, and I sent him gingerbread. And this man was like, absolutely not. And so he was like, I got you. And normally that's how it works. I'll suggest something. He's like, I got you. And my man's came in clutch with the cookies and cream, Old Smoky, cookies and cream, Old Smoky. It is good. Like, mix this with some root beer, and you have yourselves a root beer float. I don't make the rules. That's just what it tastes like to us. It is amazing. Like it gives off a root beer float. Chill it on some ice. Let it get cold. It really tastes like a root beer float. Like, to me, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 almost.
Yep, 750 milliliter bottle.
Yeah.
It's about $23, so way cheaper than...
17.5% alcohol, 35 proof.
It's not too bad. Definitely, you could just put it, chill it, put it in the fridge, freezer. It won't freeze. And you can use it as a shot. The root beer just kind of helps...
You don't even taste the alcohol. 100%, like, you don't even...
It helps make it a mixed drink, make it something you can kind of sip on, but you want to make it as a shot. Be perfect for a shot as well.
Yeah.
But,
came in clutch on this one.
Old Smoky, I've had their whiskey. They're not bad whiskey. Like I said, it's $20, so you get what you pay for. But this...
Yeah, no.
It's banger. I would probably rate it 9.5 out of 10. It's really good.
It's really good.
And honestly, probably really good as a kind of almost like a slushie.
It probably could, yeah. That's because we've been seeing that slushy machine pop up on TikTok, just turning random things into slushies. It would be good, but I'd highly recommend going out trying that. 100%. This is probably definitely top 3 of our favorite drinks that we've done on here so far. Definitely top 3 for sure, at least in my top 3.
It's good. You can't deny that part.
But let's go ahead and dive right in. As you guys know, the Boston Celtics swept the Indiana Pacers. 4-0. They are moving on to the NBA Finals again. This is their second trip. Jaylen Brown won the Eastern Conference Larry Bird MVP, not Jason Tatum. You have their numbers.
Yep. So Jaylen Brown averaged 29.8 points. Tatum averaged 30.3 points. Brown averaged 5 boards. Tatum averaged 10 boards. 51.7% from the field was Brown. 37% from 3 was Brown. He got 5 votes, while Tatum averaged 6 assists and 46% from the field and got 4 of the votes. And Jaylen Brown took home Eastern Conference MVP.
So it begs the question. They each now have one of those MVPs on their resume. Jaylen Brown's also been looked at as kind of the afterthought team. The narrative has been pushed as Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum is the superstar on the Boston Celtics. But in this playoff run that they've had this season, I think there is a question to be made: is Jason Tatum really the superstar? You can make a strong case that Jaylen Brown is the superstar. He's made big buckets, shooting better percentage from the field as you read off.
I just think it's not necessary because they're both superstars, but I think what you're really trying to say is franchise guy.
Yeah, and
I've always have kind of felt that Jaylen Brown has been more of the franchise player over Tatum. I feel like I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Tatum. Everybody is trying to push Tatum. What really turned me off towards Tatum, even when he was at All-Star Weekend, and he was like, I need these MVP votes. I need to be the MVP conversation and crying for it. And he didn't even make it in the MVP conversation.
My thing about Tatum is I just feel like he forces a lot of bad shots. He takes a lot of bad shots.
He takes a lot of bad threes, but yet the clutch bucket to tight in the first game, Brown hits it.
Yep.
Pascal Siakam was going off in game 3. Brown was like, give me that matchup.
I got it.
And Brown took and but slowed him down. And the Celtics obviously ended up sweeping, and they ended up taking that game.
Yeah.
And it's like, where's Tatum? Oh, Tatum's over there guarding the
and
guy in the corner.
What was it? I think it was was it game 2 or game 3, Tatum was having an awful game. And then like the bench player
Game 2.
was it game 2? The bench
game
players
2.
came in and Tatum just started scoring the points and the announcers were just literally
Choking him down.
like I'm like, bro, like he had a bad game, like it was Brown.
Dropped 30 points. But like I don't know why he settles for threes. Like when he shoots threes, I'm like, oh, that's a break. Like
He
I would
shoots
tell him to
bad
shoot.
threes. Like you be on a fast break and he has a dunk or a layup and he will intentionally stop and pull that through. I'm like, that's a bad like. And the thing that I think that frustrates a lot of people about Tatum is his game. He has the ability to get down there and actually play down low, but he's choosing not to. And we were having this conversation the other day. Like, why does he not want to get down in there? Like, what is... Because when he's down in there and he does do it, he's either getting fouled or he's getting buckets. It's like, see, that's what you need. And then it's like, okay, here we go. And then he's chucked bad shot. I'm like, bro, like, I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know why he's not forced by the coach to get out in the post, get in the mid-range, because he has he reminds me a lot of Melo with his mid-range. He is excellent in the mid-range game.
That's a good comparison. I like that. Yeah.
I mean, he's like when he's down there, I'm like, yes.
When he's dialed in that part of the game,
and he's down there. Not when he's standing over in the corner or spotting up. Like I don't like that. But also at times he seems when Jaylen Brown is cooking, which Jaylen Brown's really kind of cooked in most of the playoffs, especially in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Tatum seemed almost not interested really.
Yeah.
Like Brown has the ball, so I'm just gonna kind of stand here. And he's gonna if he gets it to me, then I'm either gonna shoot it or I'm gonna drive, post, or pass it. He's really disinterested.
Now that you brought that up, we were talking about this whole week about possibly there be some animosity between Tatum and Brown, because even when they handed out the Eastern Conference MVP, Brown was shocked that he got it. Like he was in the back of the crowd. Like I don't think anybody expected, because you can even see Tatum like when they showed the video, him just like clap, like he was excited, but like what? Like it wasn't me. Like that almost like I can like that. So I have to ask: do you think that is going to affect them going to the finals? That you think Tatum is going to try to possibly?
Well, they're going against the best team they have faced. I can't help. So no one can help who they face. They face who they face, and they beat them.
Yeah.
Now, did they get them? This is probably one of the easiest.
Well, let's go back over their run. They had Miami in round 1. No Jimmy Butler, Terry Rozier.
Yep.
They move on to round 2, which was the Cleveland Cavaliers. No Jared Allen. No Donovan Mitchell. For 2 games. Then they get the Indiana Pacers, who we thought were going to be the best matchup. And
it looked really good game 1. And the Pacers gave away game 1.
They did.
Like
and
they
then
choked it away.
Tyrese Halliburton goes down. And then that was pretty much a wrap.
Probably one of the easiest runs. And the Pacers are a young team.
Yes.
Miles Turner has never even been this deep in the playoffs. Yeah. So they had one of the easiest runs, but you can't help who you play. You play who you play.
And they lost 2 games this whole route there. 2 games.
They're there. They're there. So kudos to them. But I could, I told you, I could see, because they're playing the Mavericks. This is the best team they've faced. And I could see there being some kind of tensions, maybe a Kobe and Shaq kind of thing, where one of them's trying to win the MVP versus doing what's right for the team, where they're going to hog the ball a little bit, get a little upset because they're not getting it, or they've been passed up on open looks, demanding the ball. I could see that being Tatum because he did not get the MVP.
I think the thing that worries me most about Boston is even in the route to the NBA Finals that they had a lot of games, some of the games, they had to make big comebacks from. They are down double digits and had to really my problem is we've talked about it. You can't just flip the switch on and automatically think that bitch is going to ignite and you're going to come back. Like you said, they're about to play the best team that they've faced en route. You go down 18 points to the Dallas Mavericks, I don't think you're coming back.
Well, they always had the best 2 players in every series.
Yeah.
The Heat, they by far had the 2 best players. They had Brown, they had Tatum. Against the Cavs, they had
by far
top 3. They had 2 of the best 3 players in Brown and Tatum. Obviously Donovan Mitchell, but he got hurt. And then the Pacers series, Tyrese Halliburton, he's ascending, waiting, kind of see. He was a little hit and miss throughout the playoffs, but experience is huge.
Yep.
And now they're going against the Mavs, who Luka's the best player.
Yeah, no,
there's not an argument there. It's Luka. If you fall behind 20 points,
it's a wrap.
You're not coming back.
No.
Kyrie, Luka, you can make an argument that maybe Kyrie's better than one of the two of them. So
you can make a case like you could say, well, it's
on
tough.
Any game,
it's tough because Luka's number one, but then when it really gets to number two, it's tough for us because how we look at Brown and Tatum. But Kyrie is definitely, I would say, they're all right there. But Luka's clearly the best player in this whole series.
Well, it's a very intriguing matchup because both backcourts average about 30 points a game in the conference finals.
Yeah,
both of them did. The closeout game in Minnesota, 36 apiece. 36 for Kyrie and Luka.
So now we're on to the Mavs. Obviously, the Mavs beat the Timberwolves in 5 games. Mm-hmm. In the closeout game, Luka came out in that first quarter and set the tone immediately. Damn near outscoring the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first quarter by himself. And look, we were saying this back when we went to the OKC game. Like we felt like just Kyrie was waiting. And we hit that one on the nail. Kyrie was saving himself because he exploded in the Western Conference Finals.
I would say the word that he was saving himself. He was playing his role, what was needed of him. OKC game.
Yes.
He didn't have to be, when they needed a bucket, he went and got a bucket, or he went and got
when he needed to ice the game, he iced the game.
Whether it was him scoring or facilitating an assist for one, or a clutch defense.
But this is where we separate Kyrie and Luka from Tatum and Brown. We both believe, and I think the world believes as well, that it mattered to Tatum to win that MVP.
I think so.
When it came to Luka and Kyrie, they did not give a crap who won that.
Well, you heard when Luka won it, Luka was like, this isn't a me award.
Yeah.
This is a team award. And Brown's like, I've never won anything in my fucking life.
Because Brown was shook. He literally thought it was going to Tatum. And he got it. And it rattled, I wouldn't say rattled the cages, but it definitely sparked up some stuff.
Behind closed doors.
You even saw on live TV when they were giving it out. Kyrie's literally sitting there chanting, Luka. It's Luka. And you could have made the case that Kyrie could have probably won it. I don't know what the votes were. I'm pretty sure.
See, but I don't like that, though. I don't like how people just try to put in one picture, in one series, that's who we choose from. It's the playoff run.
Yeah.
It's from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Who is the most valuable? And I think the Celtics, they got it right.
Yeah.
The voters got it right. That's the first time that I'm like, we don't need to expose the voters because they got that one right. Yep. Barely. And they obviously got the Mavs one correct. I mean, it should have been, if there's 9 votes, you should have gotten at least 8 of them, if not a full sweep.
And then, you even saw at the end of that, Luka tried giving it to Derek Lively. He wanted to because Derek Lively went 16 for 16 in that series. He was a big part.
We saw the difference when he came back.
Yeah. And Luka tried giving it away. And they're like, no, that's yours. Luka does not care. Kyrie and Luka and that Dallas Mavericks, they understand the goal. Kyrie said it himself. It's a championship. And they're both on the same page where I question if Brown and Tatum are on the same page fully. They both won a championship. Let's not get it twisted. But are they on the same page all the way? Because I just think there's some animosity.
I think they were, though. I think Brown in his head knew Brown got paid. So Brown's like, I'm taking care of it.
Yep.
I really don't care. I'm here. I'll be Batman, or almost I'll be Robin. You be Batman. Almost same. What have you? But now he got this award, and he was like, "So I am as good as I really think I am. Y'all need to start thinking I'm good as I am. Maybe you're not as good as everyone's trying to make you to be."
I've always said that Tatum and Brown on any given night, one of them could be 1A and the other one could be 1B, and it can flip flop.
Yeah.
Every game.
But you have to have those egos in check, and I think Brown thinking he was always 1B, Tatum always 1A, and now Tatum thinking, this dude's trying to take my spotlight in the biggest game, wanting the first ever Finals MVP for both of them, because neither one has one in the Finals, no one has a ring.
Yep.
Trying to have also a lot of pressure for the Celtics. They win this. They have the most championships in NBA history.
Yep.
To break the tie with the Lakers.
Yep.
So there's a lot of pressure there.
There's a lot of pressure just in general, being the Boston Celtics, understanding what that franchise is and when you get to the finals, you're expected to bring home the championship. Obviously, game 1 is the June 6th. And there's some storylines there, too, that we haven't talked about. Kristaps Porzingis should be returning. And Boston has an interesting decision to make because since he went down, they've made the adjustments. They've been playing well. What do you do with Porzingis when he does come back? Joe has a big decision to make. Do you throw him back in the starting lineup? Or do you ask him to come off the bench? And if you ask him to do that, could that throw off Porzingis and what, Because regardless or not, Boston's going to need Porzingis in this series. He's going to be an important piece whenever it is that he shows back up.
I mean, if they don't have Porzingis, that's a big win in my mind, for the Mavs.
Yes.
With their young, energetic, quick bigs that play defense and they're high.
And they're not afraid. They dive for everything. And this is where I think we're going to separate in this series. You saw all through the Mavs run, those dudes, even the superstars, Luka diving on the floor for loose balls. Not saying that Tatum and Brown don't, but I'm talking about game 1s, game 2s. Like every possession mattered. Even their bigs getting down on the floor and going for loose balls. We saw it in the closeout game. Literally, Garland, Lively, Green, all these dudes are diving out of bounds, saving the ball. Luka, so that energy, I don't necessarily know that the Celtics bigs are going to have that same type of energy. Like, I don't think Porzingis is jumping on the ground. Al Horford's not jumping on the ground. Like, those guys are not jumping on the ground. I think that's where you're going to see I think that's where you can see a lot of difference.
I think you see Al Horford get that. Why is a position in my mind that's so big that the Boston Celtics are getting Porzingis back is I think Al Horford, you can see him getting exposed by them spreading it and hit. It's been very big plays as their alley-oops. Yeah. I think you can see getting Al Horford, and he's old. He can't move as well.
We obviously know that Brown and Tatum. Brown might take an assignment of guarding Luka or Kyrie. Tatum will not be taking either one of those assignments because he will absolutely get sliced and diced, unfortunately. But obviously Boston Celtics have Drew Holiday. Yeah. We know who Drew Holiday is. He made big plays in the Eastern Conference Finals, saving some of the games, making Tyrese Haliburton turn the ball over in crunch time twice, stealing the ball from them to seal game, I think it was game 3. Yep. So who would you like to see Drew Holiday guard? Who do you think they're going to put Drew Holiday on? Kyrie or Luka?
That's tough. That's because
there's only 3 guys that they have that are going to guard either of those guys. They got Derek White, but I don't think he could guard Luka. He's too small. But if you put him on Kyrie, I think Kyrie is a little too much razzle and dazzle.
Kyrie would just dance White to the ground. So,
and then Drew Holiday.
I think Drew Holiday would be
and Brown
better on Kyrie because he is bigger. But I think that's where Drew Holiday should probably start. I think that's probably where he will start is on Kyrie. And you'll put Brown on Luka because he is a little bit bigger, but that's tough because no one's guarding Luka.
No.
Like Luka's the best player. I mean, you can make an argument he's potentially the best player, in the league now.
Yeah.
With everything we've seen, he's taken that lead. He is the closer. He is that guy. No one's stopping Luka, and especially Luka looked healthy in the closeout game in Game 5.
He did. Speaking of the closeout game, I mean, like we said, he came out crazy. He was 14 of 22, 6 of 10, 36. I mean, he literally came out on fire.
And he averaged damn near a triple-double. He had 10 rebounds.
He had 10 rebounds and only 5 assists that game.
But, I mean, triple-double watch.
Yes, but he is a triple-double watch. And Luka does, I won't say Luka doesn't 4 shots. He does 4 shots. But he's so good at getting down, backing you down, getting to his spot, getting you in the air, and just a little floater, little fadeaway jump shot. And when everything's rolling for him, you're in trouble. Like I said, I agree with you. I don't think White, Brown, or Holiday is going to be able to stop Luka, whichever way they go. The idea is to try to make it tougher on him. But then there's the other question the other guys around him, and they're ready for the moment, as you see. P.J. Washington, big. Garland, been big. Josh Green coming in, been big. Lively, just been big with his decision. And that's a rookie decision. That's a rookie. I think people forget that Derek Lively is a rookie. And
Lively has the second best plus or minus as a rookie.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. And we even said when they drafted him this year, that was a big pickup for the Mavs. Now we're really seeing it. And so I think the bigger question is I truly believe they're going to put Tatum on P.J. Washington in the corner, try to hide Tatum defensively. Not saying that Tatum's bad defensively, but you're going to hide him. Yeah. You're going to hide him. And, I mean, OKC did the same thing with SGA. Because he couldn't guard Kyrie and he couldn't guard Luka. So what they do with him? They put him in the corner on PJ, and PJ was just knocking him down in the corner. We remember... Yeah. And Tatum's got to be careful because PJ will launch it. And if he gets going from that corner, woo! It's going to be a wrap, baby!
But it's tough, though, too, because... Well, it's tough to say that, you're one of the best player on your team when you don't even take the best... You don't even take the defensive assignment.
Yeah, he's not taking...
the second best assignment... Or you go and you... And
like, he gets switched on to Kyrie. Kyrie already know he going to the basket. Well, he gets on Luka. I mean, Luka going to hit him with some razzle-dazzle, probably a step back, and he'll do his best to defend it, but he can't stop either one of those dudes.
Well, that's why I think Tatum would be the best on Luka, personally.
Just because of his sheer size.
He's longer.
Yeah.
And so even obviously we don't see it doesn't matter. Gobert's fucking 7'2" and still got the dagger hit on him. But he was out there on skates, so
yeah. So it's gonna be. This is probably the most exciting finals that we've probably had in the last decade.
Well, it's not the Lakers. It's not the Warriors.
It's just something you're looking forward to.
It's a bigger market. It's not the Nuggets.
Yeah. So. It's just more of, I think people are excited for this one. There's a lot of storylines too. Kyrie facing his former team, the Boston Celtics. Kristaps Porzingis facing his former team, the Dallas Mavericks. Jason Kidd won a championship with the Mavs in 2011. Now as a player, now he's their coach, going to the finals, trying to win one as a coach. So Tatum and Brown trying to win their first ring. Luka trying to get his first ring. Kyrie trying to get his second ring. So
I have a question.
Okay.
If Kyrie potentially is working on it to get his second ring. If he gets his second ring, where does that put him on the point guard Hall of Fame, Mount Rushmore?
It definitely puts him up.
Because he already has one, and people are like, oh, well, but rings matter.
Your rings do
obviously,
matter.
LeBron was the dude there, but Kyrie was a humongous part of it, just the same way he will be in this one.
Yep.
But a lot older Kyrie. Where does that put him in the rank of point guards / shooting guards / point guards all the time? Does that...
So you got Magic Johnson, that's number one. Yeah, Kyrie, number two.
Right now? So are you saying if he gets this...
Or sorry. Magic's number one. Curry's obviously number two with his 4 championships.
Okay, with one Finals MVP.
Isaiah Thomas has 2 championships. And I kind of have to say he has to be somewhere in the top 5. It will put him in the top 5 in my personally. If he gets 2. And you have to start looking like, obviously he's not getting the 2 guys, Magic and Curry. That's locked up. That's just the way that's going to be. But like 3, 4, 5, like that's a conversation you could really have. And because if he gets this second one. I know a lot of people were trying to say if Luka and Kyrie get this championship, does this make Kyrie the best wingman of all time? And I don't think that.
No.
Because you got
the best wingman of all time. It's got to be Pippen.
Yeah, because he's got 6 rings. And then you have to look at Kobe and Shaq. Well, Shaq was the man. Kobe was the Batman. He got 3.
But was he?
Well, I mean, because, but that's how people look at.
I don't know.
No, I'm saying the first run he got 3.
That's tough to say.
So like Kyrie but he's gonna be very important. I think, but to answer your question, he'll be top 5.
He'll solidify himself top 5 point guard of all time.
Top 5 point guard of all time. Yeah, the way he could score, his layup package, his finish package, his razzle dazzle package. He's got one of, if not the greatest handle in NBA history. Yeah. You reach, he's gonna teach you, and you're gonna be on the floor. So, yeah, no, Kyrie's definitely going to be up there. And I think the world, I'll say this too, I think the world and even me owe Kyrie an apology. Like, I flamed Kyrie for a lot of years, after he left Cleveland, the way things went in Boston, the way things went with the Brooklyn Nets. And then when he got to Dallas, finally, like we talked about in the previous episode, he finally had an organization that embraced him. Even if they didn't agree with him, they came to a common ground. You know, they, like you said, they got him a personal chef during Ramadan, and you know, they've accepted him and who he is as a person, and he's finally been able to let loose and let people in. And him and Luka's relationship, as you can see, they generally have a really great relationship. You know, a lot of people didn't know if it was going to work their first year together. We kept saying, don't leave. Even though I would love to have seen him team up with LeBron in LA, I kept saying, go back. Give it an off season. I think that can really work. And obviously, a lot of people didn't believe that. And now they're in the NBA Finals in their second year together. And so I just say people owe Kyrie an apology because he did get flamed. He's written the wrong. He's done good. He's made up for it. He's been available. He's been clutch. You know, he said the right thing. He's doing the right thing. So I'm happy for Kyrie. I generally am happy for Kyrie.
I think he finally just kind of, I don't want to say like matured on the court. Finally matured and realized like there's a lot more to being the guy than, you know, just saying you want to be the guy.
Yeah. Well, he even said back then, or not long ago, that when he wanted to be the guy, he didn't realize what came with it. And he apologized. He was wrong. And so, you know, there was that narrative out there. He goes, people were saying it's funny how Kyrie didn't want to play second fiddle to LeBron, but he's willing to play second fiddle to Kyrie. And I'm like, you can't even use that analogy. That was a young Kyrie who was ascending and thought away and realized later on in life that, you know.
You could also blame his camp, though.
Well, his camp.
Because his camp, because, like, you might, as a person, might kind of think about it, like, so if you're telling that to your camp, and your camp's like, yeah, you need to be, you need to be the guy. You need to go someplace where you can be the guy.
Yeah.
Well, then you'd be like, I need to be. So I need out of here.
Yeah.
I need to be in Bron's shadow. Screw that. And then you realize, my camp was kind of gaslighting me a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't really want all of that.
Yeah.
And I don't really hold too much what happened to the Nets, because like he didn't actually want out from the Nets. Like
no,
he wanted to stay there. And they didn't want to offer him a long-term deal, so it's like, okay, well, if you don't want to sign me to a long-term deal, trade me. And so that's what they did, and the Nets blew it all up, and it's one of the biggest what-ifs.
Yep.
With, Harden, KD, and Kyrie. But, I mean, he's definitely, matured a lot, and I think Kyrie, to me, is the biggest X factor for the Mavs, because he has the maturity, he has been there, and he has done that on multiple occasions with the Cavs.
He's been to multiple finals. This isn't just like his second finals. He's been to multiple finals. Like you said, this is Tatum and Brown's second time to the finals.
So, the whole team's pretty much been there. Done that.
For the most part, yes. Well, yeah. I mean, Drew Holiday, finals experience.
Done that with the Bucks.
Yep. So, I mean, the Celtics have experience as well, but the Dallas Mavericks also have Jason Kidd, who's been there as a player, been to the mountaintop, obviously was a great player himself, great mind. So, like I said, it's going to be a clash. I'm not willing to say who I got winning yet. We're going to wait till we get a little bit closer, but I am excited for it. But
the game is Thursday. So we won't be doing another one until after the first game.
Yep. So
give me your X factor for the Celtics. One X factor for the Celtics to get game one. I mean, they are home.
They are home, so and I'm assuming that Kristaps Porzingis is probably not playing in game one. At least as of right now, it doesn't look like he's going to play in game one. That could change between now and Thursday, but I would say I still think I think it's Drew Holiday. I think Drew Holiday is going to be a big X factor because he's going to be asked to guard either Luka or Kyrie to shut one of them down. Like, that's going to be his job, to shut them down, at least try to make them play a bad game. And I think he's going to be the biggest factor for them. It may not come up in the box score, his scoring, but he's probably going to facilitate. But it's going to come down to him playing defense and making a Kyrie or a Luka shoot a 5 of 16 or a 5 of 20 type of deal. I think that will be the X factor for Boston to get game one. What is your X factor for Boston to get game one?
The head coach.
The head
coach is going to out-coach Jason Kidd. I think there's going to be a lot of key moments. I think there'll be a lot of key runs that will go on back and forth in a hostile environment. And he's going to have to out-duel Jason Kidd.
Who's a great mind.
To get game one, who's been there, has done that, and has, I think, a little bit of a leg up, even though he's never been here as a head coach. I think he has a little bit of a leg up with the playing experience there.
Yeah.
And I think he has a lot more feel for his team. Jason Kidd does.
That's fair.
So I think, to me, the biggest X factor for the Celtics to get Game 1 was the head coach can't be outcoached.
Okay.
Which to me is going to be a big battle swing back and forth throughout the season.
No, you're absolutely right. I wouldn't even have... My mind didn't even go to the head coach. That's a good... I like that one.
And Mavs. The Mavs, the steal. They are the underdogs, so it's a steal Game 1.
They are 6.5-point underdogs in Game 1.
I'll take that shit.
So they're 6.5 points. Which, again, before I begin, I just think it's crazy that you're already favoring the Celtics. I just want to, like, I guess I just don't understand how you're getting 6.5-point favorites for the Celtics already. That's just me.
At one point, the Celtics were like a 16-point favorite over the Pacers.
True, very true. But the X factor for me, oh man, I would say probably for Dallas Mavericks to get it, I'm gonna go the Dallas Mavericks bigs: Derek Lively, Garland, P.J. Washington, Derek Jones Jr. They're bigs. I think getting rebounds, diving for loose balls, and just their energy, because these guys have never been here before. Think about P.J. Washington, rotted in Charlotte all those years. Garland, rotted in Washington all those years. So, and Derek Lively being a rookie, not afraid of the moment. I think it's their bigs. Their bigs is going to be a big key factor in Game 1, defensively, rebounding, and their hustle plays.
See, I got a little two-part, but mine is, I think they're going to get more. I think the X factor for me is also partially their bigs, getting crashing the boards, giving them second chances, and I think their secondary role players, because that's what I was trying to figure. That's what I was trying to get to. I think it's going to be the Mavs bench.
Mavs bench.
The Mavs bench.
That's
the Mavs
fair.
bench has been great. They have outscored. In most games, they've outscored the opponent's bench.
Yeah.
And the Celtics bench is a little light.
To
say the least. And their three-point shooters that come off the bench have not been too good. And to go into a bigger moment, bigger stage, that's not going to help.
And like I said, Celtics are 6.5-point favorites in Game 1, which you said you would take that bet.
Take that and run.
Like I said, June 6th. The Thursday can't come quick enough for Game 1. Both teams get some rest. Obviously, Boston's had a little bit more rest.
But I think the rest is bigger for the Mavs.
Luka gets
a little bit more.
Derek Lively gets to get that head.
With his head. They were trying to knock that dude out. They were trying to take his head off.
Oh, dude, I just tell you, but. Staying on with basketball, obviously we didn't get to touch on this in our last episode, but obviously the reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets lost in 7 games to the Minnesota Timberwolves. What is next for the Denver Nuggets? What is next for this team that struggled? They didn't have a bench.
I think they need to, is exactly that. I think they need to look at retaining their guys, their stars. But I think they need to look at, filling out their bench and getting better role players.
Do they need another big to help them out when Luka goes?
They definitely if they want to go against the Timberwolves, they will.
So
if they want to get past the Timberwolves, because the Timberwolves even came out and said that they were built to beat one team, and it was the Nuggets, and they got it done. I think they need not even a big that can really score, just a big to hold the paint so Joker can breathe.
Yeah.
And look at his ponies on his phone. Like, he just needs... They need a big, but again, that's part of the bench. Like, I think they just need to fill out their bench better.
I agree with you. Like, they have to take that Miami Heat era approach where you're gonna have to convince guys to take less money to come try to win a championship.
Well, it's Denver. It's already a small market.
But
they're gonna have to pay. I think they're gonna have to pay into that luxury tax if they want to try to keep this, title run open with Joker and Jamal and Aaron Gordon. Like, they're going to have to pay that luxury tax. They're going to have to use those exceptions. And they're going to have to bring in, some better depth pieces. Hit on their draft picks, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I think honestly, Christian Braun, deserves more playing time than when he's given.
Absolutely. He even felt like he deserved more playing time.
When he got in there, he was locked down. He played lockdown defense, got clutch steals, clutch buckets. I think they gave him an extension. I don't know why he didn't. He saw a lot in the last playoff run, but
when they won the championship, he was a big piece. He was
in Braun's ass in the fucking Western Conference Finals last year.
So it's just like to see him have a decrease was very disheartening. Not just because he is a Jayhawk and whatever, but it was just like, dude, he was like a big piece, like, and he's not getting the time. And he even said he felt like he should have got more time, more minutes, and some of his teammates agreed. And Mike Malone even said that that he made some mistakes, but Denver, I think, is still going to have their run. Like you said, they need to fill it out and then come back.
Joker. I mean,
they still have Joker.
They're not going anywhere.
No,
Joker's still one of the best player, one of the best players in the league.
That brings me to the question we talked about earlier. Is Joker still the best player in the NBA, or has Luka overtaken that title?
It's hard to say that he overtook a title that he has no MVPs for. But if he gets a ring, I mean, it'll be one ring, and we'll be assuming he gets the final MVP as well. Yeah. So, I mean, he'd be tied with Joker in that aspect. But as a face of the league, yeah. But overall,
still question mark.
Probably Joker. Like,
okay.
I mean, that one's tough. 2 foreign players. I mean, really 3 foreign players when you add in Shaw, but definitely have ascending players that are going to overtake that.
And then, obviously, the New York Knicks. Yeah. They lost in 7 games to the Indiana Pacers. What is next for the New York Knicks?
Just one move. Well, 2 moves, really. Replace Tom Thibodeau or change his mind to run his dudes into the ground. But I have one really good one. It's kind of a little bit of different parts. You move off Julius Randle.
I agree with that.
You move off Julius Randle because I'm going to get Brunson a running mate in Paul George. And I'm going to get assets back in the Julius Randle trade because Paul George is a free agent. I'm going to get Paul George a max deal. And he's going to stay in the big market that he wants to stay in. Obviously, it's not L.A., but that's what the New York Knicks need to do.
Yeah, I would agree in the
end. And Paul George isn't going to be the big. Paul George isn't going to be him. And Paul George can't be him. We've seen it. Can't be him.
He's cool playing the number 2. He's even say he's cool playing that number 2.
We've seen him try to be him. Can't be him. Get him within there.
Yeah.
Tom Thibodeau, play rugged defense. Paul George is durable-ish, even though he's gotten a little bit older in the tooth. But to me, that's what I would do. And I would, draw off Brunson and try to get, depth. Use your bench, Tom Thibodeau. But
no, I agree. I think what's next for the New York Knicks is they need to move off Julius Randle. They showed in this run that they didn't need him. And Julius Randle is also a momentum killer because he wants the ball, half-court set, post up, jab, try to get to the rim. And that's not taking none away from Julius Randle. He's a great player. But the way that this Knicks team played in this run, you don't need Julius Randle for that. So you move out Julius Randle, get assets. I don't know if they'll be able to get a Paul George. I like where you went trying to get a Paul George. They have money. But try to get they need to get Jalen Brunson a running mate. And Tom Thibodeau, dude, bro, I've never forgiven you for what you did to Derrick Rose.
Oh, my God.
And you're doing it to the Knicks. Jalen Brunson out there.
The dude has a broken
Robinson. Josh Hart damn near died on the court playing 48 minutes. Thibodeau, bro, use your bench. You ain't got to run these guys to the ground. My thing about Thibodeau, you want to run them into the ground in the playoffs, cool with that. Regular season, you ain't got to run them into the ground in the regular season. Use the bench, mellow it out, spread the minutes around, and you'll be fine. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if they'll be able to get a Paul George, but they need to get somebody like a Paul George. It would be a great fit in New York, big market.
Why can't they get a Paul George?
I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying I don't know
why can't they can? The Knicks are a big market. They're an ascending team. They have nice young assets, and Paul George has already came out and said that he wants a max deal. Clippers didn't offer him a max deal, so he's going to hit in the market.
This is the same New York Knicks ownership that didn't even want to give Kevin Durant a max deal. You think they're going to give Paul George one?
I said if they offered him one.
Now, if he offered him one...
stopping them from getting him if they offer him a max deal.
You're not wrong, and I absolutely agree with you. But it's going to come down to will they be willing to do it.
Well, they're also under new management.
Well, hopefully
they give him a deal.
And then, obviously, in our Eastern Conference finals, the Indiana Pacers lost in 4 games. It was a complete sweep. Tyrese Halliburton missed the final 2 games, games 3 and 4.
Yeah.
What is next for the Indiana Pacers moving forward to get back to this?
Grow. Just
develop.
They're a young squad.
And they were missing one of their big pieces, Mathadon, I think is his name. He got hurt early in the season. He was an 18-point per game scorer, so he'll be back next year, so that'll be them.
But when you look at it, though, game 1, with 10 seconds left, 97% chance to win. Should have. Threw it away. Game 3, they had like a 92% chance to win.
Threw it away.
Like, the series should still be going on, and they just choked it away. I mean, to me, that's a lot of the coaching, because the players don't have the experience. They didn't have that veteran. I mean,
but it was just very unfortunate to see someone like Rick Carlisle, who is a veteran coach who's been in magnitude of situations as a coach, get absolutely just you were puzzled at some of his decision making. Yeah. Very puzzled.
Every time his team looked flustered, he just kind of sat there and just let it happen. I'm like, your team is flustered. They're running up and down the court, and they're throwing the ball around, and they're turning it over, and they keep giving opportunities to the side.
I would just say, if you're the Pacers, if you have the ability to add some depth or add a piece, add it. Add some a veteran guy, to help give you that push.
Like a veteran presence wouldn't be bad, but
no.
overall,
they're a young squad.
That's up and coming.
They're ascending, so...
overachieved this year, so it's hard to say they need to add anything. Yeah, no. Overachieved.
Yeah. And then, obviously, the Minnesota Timberwolves lost in 5 games. What is next for them? And I think there's a lot to talk about in this one. And I'm going to start it off. I think they have to choose between Gobert or Cat. And I honestly think Cat might be the odd man out. Someone's got to go. Because you got Naz Reid, who played very, very well. Obviously, he didn't play well in the closeout game. Obviously, played like outside of... I mean, let's talk about it. In a closeout game, Karl-Anthony Towns played 38 minutes. Took 20 shots. Made 9. He took 6 threes. Made 1. Like, I don't know what Cat is doing, bro. You are not Curry. I don't know.
Well, Cat's the best big man 3-ball shooter. I mean, he won the 3-point contest.
He's won it, yes.
And he's the only big man to ever do it.
Bro.
Well, it's hard. Some people say that Cat is the heartbeat of the Timberwolves.
But in that press conference, Cat was acting like he even know that his time might be up in Minnesota. He goes, hopefully I can come back here. I've had a lot of great memories here. I'm not saying that Karl-Anthony Towns called him out, but Anthony was very frustrated sometimes with Cat and his foul trouble.
He called him out a lot for fouling.
He called him out a lot for fouling. I mean...
Well, it's hard. So, on your question, who goes if they have to move off of a big? Is it Gobert?
Or Cat?
Or is it Cat? Well, it's hard because they invested all this time and energy, and they drafted him and developed him. But they give him a fucking...
do you keep Rudy Gobert, who's a defensive liability, or do you get rid of Cat, who sometimes...
Well, he can't be a defensive liability. He's 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. So, I don't know if he's really a defensive liability. But I don't know. It's
they have some decisions they got to make
for them, because I mean, if I'm the organization, I'm wanting to turn the team over to Ant over versus the Cat. But I don't know. Like, they need. I don't know how you get Cat to get his ass in the posts and to keep him more aggressive and stop fouling.
It's just tough because. Rudy Gobert had 5 rebounds in a closeout game.
Well, actually,
in a game.
Yeah, to pick one. I mean, Gobert's gone, but I don't know what you're going to get for a Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why they give up what they gave up for Rudy Gobert. That was one of the biggest trade steals.
Granted, that team, like I said, the team was really great against Denver because they had magnitude of bigs to throw at, obviously Jokic and whatnot.
But it wasn't Gobert.
But no, it wasn't Gobert. But I'm saying, Ant needs... it just seemed like every time Ant did something, one of those 2 dudes were in the way. And Ant had to dribble all the way back out, reset it back up, and then by that time, you'd wasted already about 13 seconds of your shot clock. And it's just, they have to figure out something. If it's a different type of offense, a new strategy, obviously... Anthony Edwards said it the best. He's never played this far. He's never played this many games. He's got to train better. No days off. Minnesota, I think, is still going to be there, but they have to figure out something. I don't necessarily think they need to add anything, but I do think they have to...
Maybe stagger your bigs. Don't have both big bigs on the court at the same time, or when you do, limit it, and maybe use more of a Naz Reid at the power forward and kind of do a small ball. Run more of a small ball. If you need to go big, and still have the option to go big, because I just don't think you're going to get anything worth getting rid of Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
So maybe more small ball.
Yeah,
which would benefit and get a kind of a quote unquote kind of a running bait, more shooters.
Yeah. like I said,
More knockdown. Maybe
I mean,
Klay
the league-
Thompson.
there's going to be a lot of. I'd be curious to see what's going to happen in the off season with some of these teams. Honestly, like the Knicks. Like I do think, like I said, like Knicks. I think Julius Randle really is gone.
I mean, he can come back, but if they want to really make that league, make a push for a title, I think Julius Randle moving off of him would be huge if you could obviously land a running mate.
Real quick, speaking on the team that was eliminated in the playoffs, and we were talking about this at work, the Cleveland Cavaliers. It came out and reported that Donovan Mitchell has a lot of power inside that organization, and they've even compared it to LeBron James, saying he even has more power than someone like a LeBron James inside that organization. What are your thoughts on him having that type of power inside that organization?
Sounds like he got the coach fired.
like, that's exactly what he said at work when I showed him that post.
Sounds like he got the coach fired, and that's tough. So clearly, if he was going to stay or potentially to stay, he doesn't even have to stay. He can get the dude fired and still leave.
Yeah.
If you want any chance of me staying, hey coach, gotta go. Maybe there's a little bit of Darius Garland, kind of sprinkling his thoughts in there too. We know there's some beef a little bit with there. If Garland's going to keep him, I want out. I don't know.
I just think that's crazy that Donovan Mitchell has that type of power in Cleveland, considering, Cleveland made a lot of gripes about LeBron having power and that ownership. And now Donovan Mitchell, who I'm not saying is a scrub or anything by that, but he's not.
He's no LeBron James.
He's no LeBron James, and that dude's got all this power. I'm like, that's kind of crazy, but I don't know. Like you said, you didn't agree with them firing.
No, I didn't like that.
Biggerstaff, the head coach, because he grew that team.
He developed them, and they were stepping stones.
So
unless you have somebody to replace him that they know is going to help them take that next step, but there's nobody out there that you can be like, yes, that guy will help us take that leap.
So
kind of like a Steve Kerr did for the Warriors.
Yeah, and then another thing that hasn't been talked about a whole lot. Mike Brown, head coach of the Sacramento Kings. They've been trying to get a contract extension done with him, and he keeps turning them down, and he wants an annual salary of $10 million or more. And so what are your thoughts on that? They've been trying to give him some contracts, offered him money, and he's like, nope, I want this number. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think kind of down here this year.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I mean, Mike Brown, head coaches are worth whatever they think they're worth. So get your money. I mean, I got no problem with anybody trying to get their money. I don't necessarily think Mike Brown is worth being one of the highest paid head coaches because the Kings were ascending, and I know they had some injuries, but they took a step back.
I mean, you go from a second seed all the way down to the play. Now, it just shows you how tough the Western Conference is, but damn.
Well, I mean, he did have a MVP and Sabonis on the team, and they still was a playing team.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't MVP.
Talk about a dude that was really disrespected this whole year.
He was in the MVP conversation, but didn't make an All-Star team. What? That should know that.
Yeah. But completely switching topics here, sports here. There's a lot going on in the National Football League right now, especially at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
We had some breaking news earlier this week. Jalen Waddle, wide receiver of the Miami Dolphins, got a contract extension, 3 years. I think he got $76 million guaranteed. It was $84 million total, $76 million guaranteed, making him currently, at this very moment, the fourth highest paid wide receiver in the National Football League. Some guys that need contracts that are in the league right now. T. Higgins, Cincinnati. As of currently, he needs a new contract, but he wants to be traded as well. Jamar Chase has not showed up to OTAs. He wants a new contract. Justin Jefferson needs a new contract. CeeDee Lamb needs a new contract. Tyreek Hill has now come out reportedly after Waddle got his money. I want a new contract now, which he said he was retiring after this contract. So now I don't know.
He has like 10 kids. So Tyreek Hill needs money, dude.
So Tyreek Hill obviously wants a new contract. And Brandon Ayuk needs a new contract. Some guys that have gotten paid. Donovan Smith. Devontae Smith got paid. A.J. Brown got paid. Jalen Waddle obviously got paid. Juwan Jenkins, who's not a big name, but the 49ers did pay him. So currently right now, these are our top paid wide receivers. A.J. Brown's making $32 million a year. Amara St. Brown making $30 million a year. Amara St. Brown. He's our number 2 highest paid wide receiver at $30 million. Tyreek Hill, number 3, $30 million. Waddle at 4, $28.25 million. Devontae Adams at $28 million. And then Cooper Kupp at $26.7 million.
Talk about taking a discount, goddamn.
So, I literally just named off a lot of guys. T. Higgins, you think is going to get $30 million? Should get $30 million, right?
And so you clearly see what a number 1 wide receiver, number 1 stud goes.
Yeah.
So he has to get 28 plus. I think he's wanting that 30. I think he wants to be 31.
I mean, I have to say in some and
he's going to be that dude that's like 30.5 million. So like I barely beat you, but I beat you kind of contract.
Would you have to agree or disagree that every guy that I just named that needed a contract will make more money than Devontae Smith at $25 million annually a year?
Yeah.
So
it's hard because Devontae Smith isn't a 1, but Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, all of them, Higgins, all of them are true number. Now we haven't really seen Higgins or Jamar Chase as a true 1, but I think we all agree they all have potential to be the number 1 stud guy, and
so
they should deserve that. They'll get 30 plus.
The
real question though, what is Justin Jefferson is going to have to set the market for the rest of them?
Yeah, well, like I said, a lot of these guys are kind of waiting for Jefferson deals to happen. The only guy that's on here that actually has been at OTAs outside of Tyreek Hill, because he's already getting paid, he just wants a new contract on top of what he's already got. CeeDee Lamb's the only one that's cool with showing up to everything, and he's just waiting for everybody else to get paid. Like, he's really the only one that's cool. You think about everybody else, Brandon Ayuk, I don't think has been at OTAs.
They actually were shopping him during the draft.
They're shopping him. Justin Jefferson, not at OTAs. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, not at OTAs. So, CeeDee Lamb's really the only one cool.
Well, just because he's there doesn't mean he's really doing anything.
No, but he's there.
But he's there.
But I guess the real question becomes is the highest paid wide receiver right now is currently A.J. Brown at $32 million.
Now, do you think he deserves to be the highest paid?
No, I don't think.
He's above Amari St. Brown.
Devontae Adams is sitting right there at 28.
So, do you think he's better than Devontae Adams right now, currently?
A.J. Brown? No, I'd still take Devontae.
Do you think A.J. Brown's better than Amari St. Brown?
I would take St. Brown, honestly, personally.
Yeah,
me personally.
Hill, obviously.
So, yeah,
Tyreek Hill.
So,
and then you get to Jalen Waddle. It's like,
Jalen Waddle's literally just above.
You probably take A.J. Brown over Jalen Waddle, and then you have
Cooper Kupp.
Then that one's close. And it's like, kind of depends on your system.
Yeah. So, I guess the real question is
Nico Collins?
Yeah, Nico Collins got paid.
I mean, that's kind of tough, though, because Nico Collins had
Nico Collins is above DK Metcalf, and then there's Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, but obviously, you take Brown over DK, and then, so forth and so on. He's better than the rest of them.
So, think about it. Currently, T. Higgins on his current contract that he's on, he's making $21.8 million. That's where...
I think that's about like the
God damn, Mike Evans all the way down there at 20.5. Damn.
Dude's like 33 years old.
Oh, no.
He's like 32 years old. Yeah, the dude's way down there.
Like...
He got paid for a 32-year-old wide receiver.
Yeah, he did. But like I said, A.J. Brown is currently the number 1 highest paid wide receiver in the league at $32 million. Is one of these guys going to clip a $40 million annually?
No.
Do you think someone's going to get there?
No.
You don't think anyone's going to get a 40? Everyone's been talking about Justin Jefferson, 40.
He ain't going to get no 40. I think you'll see, like,
where do you think we're going to get to? 30, 37?
Like 35, 36 probably.
Like...
The big holdup for, I think, a lot of them, because I think the 35 is going to be at the cap, but a lot of it is, like, the guaranteed money.
Yeah.
And because you can be the average highest paid, but really it's who gets the most guaranteed.
Yeah.
The biggest contract and who gets the most guaranteed money.
But the crazy thing is, all these dudes on this list are really waiting for the Minnesota Vikings to pay Justin Jefferson.
But you got to make the same case that Jefferson doesn't want to go first.
No.
Because he's not trying to be eclipsed.
Yeah.
But then other teams are like, well, we're not going to pay you more than Justin Jefferson.
But, like, I look at this, too, that some of these teams should honestly stop playing the waiting game and try their best to get the deal done.
Well, if you
get it
done. No matter what any of those teams come in and they pay their guy, Justin Jefferson's going to get more. So all you're doing is just raising what the Vikings have to pay Justin Jefferson. So you're not ever going to actually overpay your wide receiver. Yeah. Now, if you do pay your guy and Justin Jefferson gets less, then I got a question what's in the water in Minnesota, and whoever overpaid, you really fucked up then.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting. Football season's about, less than 100 days away. Some other news that we thought was really interesting. Olympic gold medalist Gabriel Stevenson signed with the Buffalo Bills, and it's looking like he's going to play defensive tackle. So, I think it's crazy. Gabriel's kind of been all over the place. He was a all-time great wrestler at Minnesota. He dabbled in WWE wrestling.
He's a gold
Olympic gold medalist, and now he's going to try his hand in football. So we'll see how that goes.
Fuck it, why not?
I mean, he signed with Buffalo, so I mean,
Well, the thing I'm really curious about this NFL season kicking off is the kickoff rule.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about
the Chiefs. Special teams. David Toon came out and said that they did watching all the XFL kickoffs, and about 35% of the time, about 40% of the time, the kicker is involved in the play.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't really want that for Harrison Butker.
Yeah.
And so there's talk that his name, I have no idea his name, but the rugby player that the Chiefs signed.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Is going to be the guy that could potentially do kickoffs. Or Justin Reed, who has been a lot of times during this OTAs kicking off during doing these new kickoff rules, which is I'm really intrigued to see. And I'm really here. Everybody pays attention. We'll cover those as we get closer.
Yeah.
And explain the rule to the kickoff.
Yep.
But everybody just pay attention the first couple weeks so they don't have to continuously repeat themselves every time kickoffs happen. Well, this is a new rule. So this is how this is. Just really pay attention. It's very simple, and I think it's really going to change the game. And it really makes,
I'm here for it.
It really makes me wish that we had like a Devin Hester or a Dante Hall in the league right now. Somebody kind of like that. Cardell Patterson.
Yeah.
Definitely comes to mind that is definitely going to be a killer. But the guy that we shot from rugby, the guy that was
Xavier Worthy can be back there though.
Well, the guy that was the all-star.
Oh, the rugby star. He definitely could.
He's the guy that's is sounding like he's going to take over the kickoff because it's really kind of a rugby kind of scrum.
And he knows how. Yeah. So.
And the dude's fast.
The dude's good.
Like the dude runs like 4.2, 4.40. Like, and I think he's slotted at like running back.
Yeah, running back. I think he's
like
wide receiver or something like that. So
guy, but I mean, it sounds like he's doing really great for the Chiefs, and I'm really interested in the new, the kickoffs.
I think everyone's just excited that football's right around the corner. Obviously, the NBA Finals is getting ready to start, and then it's almost over. And
baseball. I mean, the Royals are doing great here in Kansas. Well, Missouri side, but the Royals are doing really good. So
we do have on baseball real quick. We don't have to touch on this too much, but the MLB announced that the Negro Baseball League is being
the
records are being put together with the MLB. There'll be one now, and it's going to change a lot of the records. A lot of guys are going to get bumped. There's now going to be a new guy at number one. I think his name's Josh. I can't remember his last name, but he's now going to be like the leader in batting average and stuff like that. So a long time coming for that. I'm happy for it. I don't know why it took so long to even get to this point to merge. Obviously, these guys never played against each other, obviously, because they were separate leagues back then. But now they're going to be one. I'm here for it. Baseball's making strides. Yeah. And another thing, one of the umpires for baseball, the most controversial umpire in MLB history, Hernandez, don't know his first name, finally retired from baseball, so we don't have to... Angel, yeah, we don't have to deal with him no more. That dude, terrible. Don't even let him coach your little league. Dude, you're done. Like, we don't want to see you no more. But other than that, ready for the NBA Finals, ready for football to start. Make sure you guys comment down on more drinks you would like us to try. Like I said, we find things. If you know something, let us know. We'll go buy it. We'll try it. We'll rate it for you. And hit that subscribe button. We are currently at 65 subscribers. We're on our next goal of 100 right now. That's our next goal. So make sure you subscribe. Appreciate you for joining us. Have a good day.